Good afternoon, Comp 3928. Dr. Mueller here again. I'd like to cover with you now. Could be difficult, but maybe more tedious. It's the process of cleaning our raw data. Picture it maybe as, you've not cleaned your house or apartment for 2 weeks. You're dreading it. You've got to do it. It's got to get the cleaning done. Don't dread it, but we do have to learn. It's a very, very important and necessary step, because if you don't clean your data properly, you can't run the statistics. It'll jam up. It'll show it doesn't run. All kinds of trouble. You've got to get raw data to clean data, okay? Prepared data, all right? So let me go over some stuff. Now, what I did today is I just pulled down our data from right now. I think we're at 351 surveys as of this right now, Sunday. Keep pushing through Tuesday. On Tuesday morning at 9 at deadline, I'm going to pull down the complete final set. Hopefully get those numbers up yet higher before we have to go to work. Okay, but so today, again, don't use this data set. I'm not even going to give you this one. It's an example of, it is our data, but not all of it, as we'll have it complete by Tuesday, okay? Whew. All right, I might have told you in an earlier video, I've had some computer recording problems today. Let's just hope we get through this. There's a lot to cover, okay? So here's data. Okay, so I'm going to capture the screen here. And here's our course in energy messaging raw survey data, survey raw data. I'll mark that and put that here. So you click on that and it'll open this data. Okay, and we'll open it. Let's see, I saved this by in CSV. There's different ways to save Excel files. Comma separated values is more of a universal way to save it. A lot of softwares will run and download Excel, some won't. Some need the CSV. So I always find when I'm working, I might save it. By the way, always back up your data. Every time I work on my data, I save it with the name plus that date. Every day I save it on that different date. You never want to lose or crash your data. It could be hours and hours of work you can't recover, okay? So you may start with, one here. You may save this, partway through and then save it, but never be afraid to save too many times. Okay, you can always then, if something goes way wrong, you can revert back to the former step. Okay, so in data, I don't know again how much of you work with Excel. I can't assume that. We're getting at the upper end of an advertising degree. I'm assuming you must have worked on it in a community college. There must have been courses, right, where you've learned to execute well on Excel, correct? Or not correct, okay? You'll have to use it in this course because, this is where we keep our data, okay? So I don't know if you know this. You sort of press down till you get this certain little icon, or hover till you keep on one of these column lines, and you go this way and you can drag them open to see what's in there, right? You know how to do that? You catch it here and drag it open, okay? Then when you're done, you might want to take it and stick them back. But that's how you get to see what's in each box, okay? Remember, here we are. Everything going this way horizontally, every line horizontally is one case. That's one respondent answering the whole survey. Across here, each one of these numbers here is a respondent. Okay, let's scroll down. Right now we're at, let's see, about 353, because remember there's some headings on top. So again, here we go. There's 353 surveys going this way, okay? Up and down vertically, all these columns, each column is one item in the survey. It's one thing they answered, one statement they responded to, okay? These are variables, right, and things we measured. These are cases, the people who answered, okay? Got it? All right, great, okay. So we can go through this, and I'll show you a couple of quick tricks. For some reason, Qualtrics drops in a lot of stuff here, like when they started, what time, when they finished, import. A lot of this stuff is it just comes in through Qualtrics, but that's why data's raw, okay? So we go through a lot of this, and, duration of the time they were in there. This is all things we didn't ask, right? So I'm going to take you like this, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take you all the way over to here and all the way to here. If you can see this, all this is stuff we don't need. It's not really ours, but look at here. Q1, informed consent, right? That's the start of our survey. So I don't know if you know how to do this. You just hold down the cursor and you highlight across all of these you don't need, right? We're getting rid of this. Now be careful. I'm going to right to there, right? I've copied, highlighted everything that's here that really is from Qualtrics. We don't need it. We don't want it. Okay, so I highlighted all that, again, all the way to this first informed consent. We need that. And then I right click and I hit delete. Be careful. Now you can always reverse if something goes wrong, but hit delete. There it went. I just cleaned out all that data. Again, I highlighted across the top. It covers all the data down. We just cleared out all those columns. That's how we start. Okay. Now, when we go across this, here's another, by the way, this is highlighted. Just click on any cell and it'll unhighlight. Okay. Here's another thing. Q1, Q16, these aren't really in good order. What I would consider here is let's make sure we're seeing things the way we think we see them. So we had a conformed consent. Then we had this. Look again back to your coding sheet. That's why this is so important. We've got to make sure this is an order of the survey. Based on energy bill, the first question was easy to understand. Is that correct? I think it is. Based on the power energy bill, the message was fascinating. Okay. Go back to your coding sheet and make sure you're seeing this. Make sure in our minds this is the right order. Okay. We do not really need these question numbers. And honestly, sometimes I don't fully understand the sequence. So see where this one is? You can click on that. It highlighted all those numbers going across. Right click in any of the gray area, delete. We just cleaned out all of that across the top. We don't need that. Okay. Sometimes we just have to look, and I can drag down, right, to see this too. Sometimes we just have to look and say, what's in here and do we need it or not? And most of it, if you can get rid of it, you get rid of it. Okay. Here's another thing. I don't know what kind of computer coding this is. Import ID. This goes all the way across if you notice. It's some kind of computer code out of Qualtrics. We don't need this either. So click on that. See, I just clicked on this number 2 area here that highlighted this whole row. Right click, delete. Okay, can you see how we're cleaning this up? Okay, we're cleaning data, we're getting stuff out. Just take those steps. Okay, now remember, informed consent, back to the coding sheet. 1 is I agree, 2 is I don't agree. We've got to have all ones here. If we don't have a 1, we've got to delete that case. The good news is our survey has 300-400. We can eyeball it, right? Sometimes with big data classes, there's 10,000, 20,000, a million cases. That way you can't look at it. It's too much. We can look at our data. That's easier. So I'd start here with informed consent. Scroll down. Doesn't take long. Scroll down. What am I seeing? All ones. These are all people who agreed. Okay? So I'm looking down, looking down, looking down, keeping going. I don't see any 2s. I don't see any 2s, right? Keep going, keep going. Here we go. All ones from what I saw. Double check me. All ones. So then I grab here and pull this back to the top. We know everybody agreed. Guess what? Click on the A. Click on the A. That highlighted all this. Right click, delete. Don't need conformed and sent anymore. That's on our master dirty data, our raw data. We don't need it for our data. Clean it out. Okay. Then I told you up here, from your coding sheet, you can do whatever you want here to label it. Okay. A lot of times I'll double click in the box, sometimes triple click. That means you can actually, once you triple or double click, just click to make sure you can get into the text here. See, I'm now working inside the cell in the text. Right here, I might just delete. I'm going to go to energy bill. Easy to understand, right? Put an underscore. There you go. That's what I'm going to call that variable, right? Then we go to this next one. Remember, this is the second one for energy bill. So I might just delete this over to energy bill. And I'm going to go fascinating. I just, by retaining that much, I will remember what variable that was, right? Underscore. Okay, does that make sense? So go across per your coding sheet. You already thought this through. Go across and save every variable based on what you want to label it. Very important. Okay, so do that. Now I'm going to pull this back up here. Here we go. All right. So some of these, by the way, they get pretty big here, don't they? You got to clean that back up. I'll drag those back later. Sometimes they get really big, and I've got to remember. Let me take the view down once here to 50%. So, all right, I got to stretch these back together. I got some of these pretty big because I was messing around with them before. But you can just see you got to grab them and just pull them back up, and you can clean them back up that way, okay? But for right now, put it back to 100%. So if you can see this, we can label them across the top, right? And remember, all of these have to come up with a simple label, okay? Remember, these are the true and untrue right here. So I might put, you know, this might be web page, right? And then I'm going to put true of me. I might just save that much because I will know that's enough for me to remember it's one of those special 8. Okay? Then, you know, again, I'm going across these. I'm stretching them open. Let's see. This is the text box one. When we get to the end, I'll show you. We need to copy this and then put it in a completely new Excel sheet. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. Okay, since we're here. Now, let's just say you've labeled all the way across so far, okay? So then you click on this AY. This is the setting here, right? It's all highlighted. Right click and put copy. Makes sense? So I've copied all of that. Then up here, file, new, blank workbook, right? And I just click right in the A up here, this little A1, and right click and then just paste. Okay? This has dropped in all my text for each of the respondents in the boxes. Okay? File, save as. This is for me. This is where I keep my course class work. And I will call this text. Let's see, I'll call it text data from energy survey. How's that? Okay. Here I'm going to go CSV right away. Instead of Excel workbook, I'm going to go down here, see CSV. Click that. Here I saved it CSV. That's a good way to save it for our purposes. Save. Does that make sense? It'll say here, some features might be lost. Don't worry about that. Click yes. Just click it through. Okay? So now we've got this. Just minimize that down. You've saved that. Once you know you have it, remember, you can always go back to the raw data if you need to get any of this back. We've already saved that in a new file. Then right-click, delete. Taking that out. Okay? And then there's another one here, zip code. Remember that one? Same thing. Click on the BB, right-click, copy, right? Same thing. We got to go a separate file for a different purpose later. File, new, blank workbook. Click inside the A1 here, paste. I just saved all my zip codes here. File, save as, put it up in this folder I keep, and I'll put, let's see, energy survey zip codes. How's that? Okay. Again, here, Excel, I'm going to go CSV. I'm going to save that CSV. Here we go. Save. Okay, get the same thing. Remember, yes, just click yes. Okay. So then minimize this. So guess what? We've cleaned that out. Now, right-click on this, remember, and delete. We've got that in another file. Okay. You see how this works? It's just like cleaning house. We put it places we need it. We clean things up. Okay. Remember I said when people answer in the other categories, it'll create a separate variable. So here is an occupation. Look what they put in. Stay-at-home mom, disabled, student. Thought we had a student in there. Maybe we didn't. Got a lot of students. I would suggest for this one, we can't leave that in there because we can never leave any text in our clean data except across that one row across the top where the labels are. It's the only place we can leave this. We might want to take this later and park it and just think later, we would just be a comment in the research. Do we want to comment about some of the other things they put in this box? Okay, so save that if you want, but for the sake of cleaning data, we'd go up to this other box up here, click BC, right click, delete. Okay, we don't keep that in our data, we may save that for later. Here is the one, ethnicity. See, race and ethnicity are not the same. We get a lot of comments in this. It's sometimes difficult to properly represent how people would like to be perceived regarding race and ethnicity. Have to work on that probably another time. But if you look down here, here's white Native American, white, multiracial, Afro-Cuban. So why is this important? Well, we want to know because we might, categorize different groups, okay? But you look at this biracial, but again, there's a few. We may want to talk about that in our research later to validate those answers. But again, for the data cleaning, click on BF, right click, delete. Okay, so we're cleaning this up here, and I think you can see how we're sort of going along here. And we've got the labels in, we've got this here, we can stretch this final one out here. Relationship status, I think this is the other for relationship status. Dating, LOL. Swingers, well, I guess. I don't know, but having sex, she keeps telling me she doesn't like something. Well, so my point is, for the other category under relationship, I might suggest too, that is probably not necessary, so right click, delete. Okay, that leaves us with this. Relationship status, again, that's the last variable in the survey. Look at your coding sheet. So again, we've got to move this around a little bit and clean it up, but nonetheless, I think you see what happened. We moved across. Now, there's one last thing for cleaning data. Maybe you can do this first or last. It's easy up to you to understand, but looking across, just eyeball. Matter of fact, let me bring this down in size. It might be easier. Eyeball across the cases. Sometimes somebody just didn't finish the survey. This looks really good, by the way. Now here's a case, 1, 2 missing here, but not many others. Most of this looks good. Sometimes a lot of people do not finish the survey. You are doing great work because whoever you're communicating with, there's a few missing, but sometimes you can look across a case and everything. Now here's one here. See this one? There's a lot missing. I would suggest I would click on 189, right? And by the way, your data may all end up a little different now based on how you clean it. That happens. But I would suggest there's too many missing in this one. So I'm going to click on 189, right click, delete. Not enough there for us. Let's see, here's another one. Well, they've got these 5 missing, but all the rest is in there. These are judgment calls. Here, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this one too many? Probably, I'd say so. So on 236, a click, delete. Okay. Here's one, tons missing, a lot missing in the whole first section here. I'd click 249, delete. Okay. Does that make sense? So I call this eyeballing. Here's one. Look, I don't know what happened in 287, but I've got nothing there. So right click, delete. You're just eyeballing this, cleaning up where people left a bunch of holes, but this looks good, okay, real good. So remember, save, save, save. Always keep, file here, save. Keep saving. Some feature, it'll always hit this with CFE. Yes, save. So keep saving, and just keep going through the data. I wonder if I missed anything. Here's one other one. Marital status, let's go all the way down that one. This seems to be the other category. Someone put seriously why. They didn't want to answer, marital status. So we'd go up here, or current marital status. Right click this one and delete. Okay. So we're going across through the columns. When we look at the other column, was there enough there? But no matter what, we either save it or delete that. We have to have all numbers everywhere. We have to have all our labels complete across here. And then we have to look across all the cases to make sure if there's a bunch of holes in it, we need to delete that one. Does that make sense? I hope. We are rolling along here because that's right at 20 minutes. Data cleaning. And like I said, for this course, we're experimenting, we're learning. It's great. Whatever we end up with, 500, whatever, we'll work as hard as we can, and we have enough data to work with. But push through Tuesday. Then we clean data. We clean because it's got to be clean. It's got to be completely void of text. All right. Only thing that, again, that top row can be labels. That's it. Everything else has to be numbers. Look at the numbers. Look how it's setting up. I'll tell you right now, just from my first glance at this, we've got a good clean data set, not much work here. That's because we had a good survey instrument and we designed it so it all fit together, easiest to work with, okay? That's it. I'm going to get on to the next part for this, okay? So now you have the coding sheet, getting that first. Now you've got cleaning data second. All right? Moving on to the next part. Bye-bye now.